Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. I'm happy that you're back again. This podcast is for any entrepreneur and any person who is trying to aspire higher and reach success. When you get a chance, don't forget to visit www.mogulmotivation.com, where I offer practical blog posts on how you can efficiently start and grow your business on this journey. I don't ask for any money. All I ask is that if you find this podcast beneficial to you, you pass it on to someone else who may benefit from it as well. Right now, I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that you're on a plane, and this plane has been hitting a lot of turbulence lately. Constant turbulence, and this plane is going in a circle. It's going in the same circle above unknown terrain that you have never seen before, terrain that you have never touched down before. You've been on this plane for a while, and it's circling and circling around with nothing but turbulence. It's shaking, there's a lot of noise, it's very unsettling. You're on this plane right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this plane represents your job. This plane represents your life. This plane represents whatever situation you're currently in that's making you unhappy and making you uncomfortable. This plane that we're on, sometimes we remain on these planes far too long. Sometimes we never get off these planes. And the question is, when do you jump? When do you get off this plane? Because there's no other way you can get off this plane but jump. It's the only way. When do you get to that point to where you have to jump? You get to that point when enough is enough. You make that jump when you can't take it anymore, when you can't take the shaking anymore, you can't take the turbulence, you can't take the unsettling smell anymore. You can't take the inconvenience. You can't deal with the people who are sitting next to you anymore. That's when you jump. So many times in our lives, we work jobs that we don't care about. Over and over, we constantly do things that we don't want to do because society tells us we have to do it. Because we have to pay the bills, correct? We have to. That's a fact. But we continue to stay at jobs that we don't like so that we can pay these bills, so that we can remain comfortable. And like Dr. Clarence Lee Jr. said last week on our Monday conversation, you only have one life. There is no reset button. You only have one life. So if you only have one life, you have to go after the things that really make you happy and go after the things that you can't stop thinking about. When you start to get an irritation on that plane, this is where you can't take it anymore. Those are your dreams speaking to you. When you're at your job, when you're going through the motions, your dreams is nagging at you in the back of your head. Everything that you want to do, that you truly want to do, is nagging at you. When you can't stop thinking about your goals. When you're at work, when you're on break, when you're at home in the middle of the night and you can't stop thinking about it, that's when you jump. That's when you take that leap of faith to start your business, to get back into school, to pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue. It's at that point that you jump. And that point comes at different times for different people. My point came on June 9, 2013. I had graduated from college some 3 years earlier. I'm working part-time at Speedway convenience store. I was fed up. Yeah, I had started my business in 2011, but I was still working a job and I was fed up with it. It was making me unhappy. It was not what I wanted to do. So I jumped. I jumped off that plane and I took a leap of faith. Your point may come at a different time. You have to take care of your bills first. You have to take care of your family first. But it's going to come a time where you're going to have to jump. And you might not necessarily jump full time. You might still have a job on the side and work your business, but the reality is, there's going to come a time where you have to jump. You have to take that leap of faith. You have to get off that turbulent plane with people and strangers that you don't like, who don't care about you. On a plane that's doing nothing for you, but taking you in the same old circle, round and round and round. You have to jump. But before you do that, you have to analyze some things. First, you have to understand that when you jump, you're going into unknown territory. You're going into a land where most people haven't gone to, where you haven't even gone to. You have to realize what you're getting yourself into. You have to understand that first and foremost. Secondly, before you jump, you have to grab your parachute. You can't just jump out of a plane without a safety net, because you're going to hit the ground and you're going to die. Your parachute is your support system. Your MVPs, your most valuable people. It could be your wife. It could be your husband. It could be a mother, a friend, a father. It doesn't matter, but we all need some type of support system. We all need somebody we could turn to emotionally and psychologically. Somebody we can confide in. And you might not have that many. In most cases, you're not going to have that many people. You might have one or two people. But you have to have that safety net. You have to understand that you can't just take that jump without taking precautions. You have to have somebody that's going to have your back 110%. You have to have some type of financial stability and support, whether it be a savings account, a 401k, whatever it is. You have to have things in place as contingency. So you got your parachute. You know that you're about to jump into unknown territory. And then you go. And you free fall down to the ground. But when you land, the air is going to feel so much fresher. You're going to be able to breathe easy. You're going to be able to see things you couldn't see. But when you're at that point, when you left your job, when you stepped out of your comfort zone, and you finally went after your dreams, you finally started that business. Now, that's when the real work begins. You have real work to do now, because even though you're on the ground, even though you're in unknown territory, you have the tools to build, because nobody else is going to build it for you. You're alone out there. You're alone. And it's on you to whether you're going to build your empire or not. So although you jumped off that turbulent plane, although you had your support system, your parachute, you still have work to do. You still have to build your empire from the ground up. The tools are going to be there. The tools are going to be there waiting for you. You have the resources. It's going to come down to your will and your drive and your determination to do it, to get it done, to build that business, to accomplish your dreams. You're going to have to do it. You have to get it done. And it's going to take time. It's going to take a long, long time. It's not going to be built overnight. But when you finish building your empire, when you put in this blood, sweat, and the tears every single day, eventually your empire is going to rise above where that plane was circling around. Your empire is going to go to heights in the sky that plane never was going to touch, because that plane was going in the same circle around and around at the same level over and over for a long time. It is never going to stop. And it's still going to be people on that plane, and they're going to watch your empire grow and grow and grow and rise. And they're going to be like, wow, we should have jumped too. So that's my message, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it's a job, whether it's school, whatever you're doing that's making you unhappy, leave it. Jump. Take that leap of faith. If you're not ready to jump full steam ahead, start to make your way towards that door. Start to figure out ways how you can escape this mundane lifestyle. Start to think about ways how you can finally get this business going, how you can finally take steps towards your dream job. That's what you have to do because it's important. It comes a time where everybody has to take that leap of faith. Everybody. I know you don't know what's down there. I know you don't know what's going to happen next year, next month, next decade. But you're never going to know if you stay on that plane. You have to exit that plane and you have to make that leap of faith. So grab your parachute. Get closer to that door. And when you finally get tired of all of that turbulence, of all of that noise, of all that rocking, of all that uncomfortable situations, take your leap and begin to build your empire and build your goals. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to take that leap of faith. Just jump. Have a great day.